another lecture with the Well Coder Academy. So today we'll be covering Pandas series. So what is Pandas series? Pandas series is very much like a list whereby it contained a list of values. However, for Pandas series, what it contained additionally on top of the list of values is a list of index, whereby for each of the index, it will correspond to a particular value from the data. So to understand it better, let's take a look at the Jupyter notebook. To use the series, we first need to import pandas as PD. Okay, so in order, there are many different ways for you to create a series, but one simplest way is creating a series from a list. So how do you create a series from a list? First of all, we want to create a list first. List, let's say we create a list of number 5, 13, 25, 9. What number do you want? 35. Okay, 37. Okay, so over here, we have successfully created a list. So in order to create a series, what we need to do is, first we write the variable name. In this case, we want to just use the letter S for easy reference, equals to PD, referring to the pandas library, dot series, and we pass in the data. So this data will be the list. What will happen here is that this method will take in all the value from the list and create the series object. Okay, so we shift enter, we S shift enter. Okay, so now we have successfully created a series. So there are three, looking at the anatomy of the series, there are three portions that you need to pay attention. So first of all is the right hand side column over here, over here. So these are the values. So these values are taken from the passed in list that we have done previously. On the left hand side, you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the index or the labels of the values. So the index 0 will correspond to 5, index 1 correspond to 13, index 2 correspond to 25. So those are the two main components. And the third part over here that you should pay attention is a D type, int64. So D type is the data type of the elements in the series. So they are referring to the right hand side column, all this number, the type of them are int64. So to show you, if we check the type of the variable s, we'll get pandas call series. So this is saying that the variable s, the type of it is panda series. But if we check the first element, it will be int64 as mentioned over here. So you might be thinking, why the index of it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4? What if I want to specify my own index, just like how you create a dictionary? The answer is yes, you can. But what you need to do is you need to pass in an index. Okay, index equals, and what you need to pass in is list, a list of index. So let's say I want to change 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 to A, B, C, D, E. So we can do that. We can pass in a list B, C, so D, and E. Oops. Okay, so here we still using the same data from 5, 13, 35, 9, 37 over here. We still use the same data, but now on top of it, we pass in our own index. We specify the index without letting pandas to changing back to the default values. Okay, so shift enter, and tada. Here we'll have the index A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so that is how you change the index. And now you might be thinking, how about the data type? Over here, the data type is int64. So all the values in it are integers. What if I want it to be floating point instead? So floating point are like 5.5, 5.0, 5.2, those with decimal numbers. I want to convert all these values to floating point. So how do you do that? You can also, in the pd.series, we pass in another parameter, which is dtype equals, we put float 64. Remember to put it inside a, what's this thing called? Yeah, this thing. So dtype, we need to enclose it. And if we run it, there you go. Here, dtype now will change to float 64. So all the values now is 5.0, 13.0. So if we check again the data type, it will be float 64. One very useful method for series is that you can call s dot index. S is just a variable name. You can name the series in any ways that you want. And you call the attribute index from the series, and it will return set of all the sorry set of all the index of the series, whereby there are A, B, C, D, E over here. So if you want to check the values or the data that the series contain, s dot values, it will have all the values. This will return an array. Okay, so that's all for the introduction to series. Next video we'll be covering more functions on series. And thank you, and see you in the next lecture.